Hey everybody, what's going on? Adam here. Today I'm doing a little video on a discussion, this video is based off a discussion that I had at work today with a couple coworkers, and we were discussing briefly about having impairments, like being blind or deaf, or impairments of the senses of sorts. And it brought up this thing going on in my head throughout the day, because my answer was, as a musician, I think I would prefer to be blind because I would still be able to feel what I'm playing. I would still be able to hear what I'm playing. And it brought up this whole scenario in my head that if I were blind, would I still be able to play? And so I was thinking about this off and on throughout the day, and then I got home and I threw on YouTube, which I always do when I come home from work, and I scroll YouTube videos of guitarists and all sorts of crazy music stuff, because that's what I do, and that's okay because I have no life, and that's what I do with my time, so whatever. And so I loaded up some videos, and I came across the series that Steve Vai has out, just different ways of learning, teaching, different ways of doing things. It's a really good series, for beginners and even players that's been doing it like myself for over 20 years. It just brings a lot of insight into being a musician, being a guitar player, and really tapping into what it is that you do. So I recommend watching that for anybody who's watching this video. But anyway, there was this one video that he was talking about being spontaneous in the moment, throw music theory to the side, which is great because I don't understand music theory. I'm self-taught. I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. I don't know the name of the notes I'm playing half the time. I literally have no idea what I'm doing when I play guitar. I just play. That's all I do. So it was a great point for me to really focus on what he was doing in the video. And he was talking about if you threw theory to the side and you just listen to what you're playing, you just focus on what you're playing and really just become part of what you are playing, physically into the guitar. And it made a lot of sense to me anyways, and I'm sure it makes a lot of sense to other musicians, especially if you perform live with other band members, that there's certain points when you play where I call it you hit the zone. And the zone for me is when you're playing and you don't even realize you're playing, you don't even realize you're performing in front of people. It's almost like a blackout moment where nothing exists and you just play. It organically, naturally comes out of you. You have no idea that you're even doing it. And he was talking about those moments when it's just spontaneity, and you just improvise and you just go into it not knowing what's going to happen. And as a musician, that's like one of the biggest things that you can learn. That's one of the biggest things you can do, is just learn how to do things on a whim and being able to improvise, because it really does help you become more in touch with your playing, your style, and what you're doing while you're playing. And it really hit me when he said that. So then, after the discussion I had today at work and watching that, then I really started to think about, okay, so really if I was blind, and just focusing on my other senses, would I be able to still play like I normally would? And I started thinking about all these videos you see on YouTube about different players who have impairments, whether they're deaf or they're blind. And I mean, one of the biggest guitar players of all time, Jeff Healey, he was blind, phenomenal guitar player. And then you have these guys that are literally missing appendages, arms and everything else, are playing with their freaking toes. It's like, how the hell are they doing this? And it's because after you play for so long, you just have this natural organic attachment to playing music, and it's really interesting to think about. So I decided to come up with a challenge for guitar players, in a sense that give yourself an impairment. Mine's going to be blind, because that was the one that I was like, okay, if I was blind, should I still be able to play? And so what I'm going to do is just play with my eyes closed. I'm just going to throw in a basic drum beat in the background, and I'm just going to improvise over it with my eyes closed and challenge myself in the sense that I'm becoming more connected to what I'm playing and I'm not thinking about it, because as long as you're focused on something with a sense, that seems to throw you off. I know it does me anyway, as I progress throughout the years and playing and whatnot. Like if I focus too hard, just put the guitar down, because you're going to overcomplicate things. And that's when you really start hitting a plateau to where you don't get anywhere. And I hit that many of times throughout the history of being a musician, and I'm sure many of you out there have as well. So my challenge to myself, and I'm challenging all of you other guitarists and other musicians, drummers, bassists, whatever you do, just challenge yourself to become more connected to what you do. And I really truly believe that the outcome is going to be, it's going to be an eye-opening experience for you. So no hesitation here. I kind of rambled on there for a minute, but I had to get the point across of what I was trying to do. Okay, so anyway, so I got a little drum beat in the background, and I'm going to have this play. I'm literally just going to close my eyes and try to just feel what I'm playing, hear what I'm playing, and just naturally let something happen without one of my senses. And I challenge you to do all the same. So I don't know how this is going to come out. It's probably going to be really bad, but then again, you never know. So here it is. Okay. Hey, look at that. Holy shit. Ooh, holy crap for all you young listeners out there. So yeah, there you go. that was a lot better than what I anticipated, and I'm actually kind of shocked, because I really thought that was going to go horrible. And I'm sure a lot of you that are going to end up trying this, you're going to think the same thing. But that just proves right there, taking away the sense of seeing, I was still able to play. I was still able to, even though I couldn't see as I was playing, I could still visualize in my mind what my hands were doing. I could still feel what my hands were doing. I could still hear where my hands were going on the fretboard. And that was pretty cool, and I really think if a lot of you tried that, you would see that you're capable of doing a lot more than what you think. And that was the purpose of this video, was to show you as musicians that no matter the handicap, no matter the disadvantage, no matter what situation you're in musically, whether it's getting thrown into a show you're not prepared for, getting thrown into a band that you're filling in for that you don't know the songs 100%, all these different scenarios and things that happens to musicians. This video is for that reason. It's to let you know and to make you realize that no matter the situation, you have a connection with this instrument, whether it's a guitar, whether it's drums, piano, horns, or whatever the case may be. You have a connection, an organic, natural connection to something that a lot of people don't. So don't take that for granted. Don't push that to the wayside, because that's a beautiful thing to have, to be able to do that. And once you do this, you're going to realize that this is going to open up a lot of new windows, excuse me, opening a lot of doors for you musically, because now you don't need to realize that it's all about focusing on this, focusing on that. It's just, or naturally letting yourself be you through an instrument. It makes you realize, and a lot of musicians will vouch for this, the ones I know anyway. No matter what happens in life, no matter what you go through as a musician, this is always by your side, no matter what it is. Whether it's a guitar, whatever the instrument, this is always by your side. And I know that might sound weird to a lot of you out there who aren't musicians. It might sound a little like, whoa, dude, calm down. But that's not the case, and musicians can vouch for this. You, at the end of the day, this is more than just a guitar. This is more than just a piece of wood with strings and pickups that plugs into amplifiers. It's more than just an object made to play music. When you're a musician, you need to realize that you connect with this. This is part of you at the end of the day, whether you realize it or not. It's no different than closing your eyes and making a fist, or closing your eyes and doing whatever. Or not being able to hear something for a period of time. You're still able to do things naturally. And as a musician, realize that naturally you're capable of doing this no matter what the scenario, no matter what the handicap is during that moment. And realize that when you're in these situations, don't fear it. Don't make you second guess yourself and what you're capable of doing. And when it's all said and done, just realize that you can do this no matter what it is. Whether you take your sight away or not, you can do this. So be positive about learning. Be positive. This is for all of you guys out there that are learning. It's like, don't get frustrated, because it's going to happen. It takes a long time. It takes patience. It takes a mindset to just make this part of you. So with that said, I'm looking forward to all of you challenging yourself and putting videos up of whatever challenge it is, whether it's the blind challenge, you can't hear challenge, and still being able to play. I want to see what everybody else's response is. So leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, whatever direction it's in, I don't even know. But just hit the subscribe button. And I'm going to attempt to do more videos like this in the future. So most importantly, have fun with music, have fun playing music, and jam on.